Hey guys, it's Simon with Mabel and Vinny out in our favourite sheep house woods. Now Vinny is the big retired greyhound, black and white, look, he's here. So he's just seen a hare along with Mabel. Now normally he wouldn't go into the woods, believe it or not, because we think he's had an old racing injury on his front foot, and I think it's probably been a bad break, and it really swelled up recently after going down a heavy bank. Ran down a bank, twisted it, and it really swelled up, so that's all gone down. So he's walking fine on it today, and just recently, but it does limp every so often. It causes him problems, but not to stop him running and having really good exercise, which is great. They're not going to catch the hare, not in unless it's open ground, and even then I think with a bad foot I don't think he'd catch anything. So here's Mabel, she's trotting away, so they're both having a good sniff and a smell around. It's been quite wet as well over the last week or so, like say we're 27th of October 23. Very wet summer, and then a much drier autumn, very warm as well through September. Indian summer as they call it in these parts, and then it started to get cooler. So just making the most of the finer weather and getting out and about. Got the electric chainsaw in now, so we're cutting up wood for our log burner. Cut down on heating costs. Here he comes. Here he comes. Lovely dogs, so they're a good pair. Vinny's retired now, he's five and a half, possibly 6 now, not exactly sure. I think we've got his birthday somewhere. I think he's getting on for 6, so he's a reasonable age now. He's well into his middle age, so he's nowhere near as energetic as a working vizla Weimaraner of 2 years old like Mabel, but he's done his work now. He settled into the house well, because he's just used to been living in kennels like any working dog outside. But he's a lovely temperament, like most greyhounds. He's a lovely temperament, very, very loving and affectionate, a good partner for Mabel, because he tolerates her giddiness to a degree and has good plays with her, good company, and then if she's not around he tends to pine a little bit for her, so I think it's a good healthy relationship. Sheep house is looking grand. I've just found a small sweet chestnut further down, which I knew there was up here, but it's only a small one, so there must be a large parent tree somewhere. But I've collected a few of the sweet chestnuts that have fallen, and I'm going to try and plant them in pots at home, because I would like some native woodland in the garden, in our garden. There's a lovely ash growing in the garden, so that's self-generated, so I'm going to let that grow. But I do want to try and improve the hedge line in the garden at the bottom and round the edge and round the wildlife pond at the bottom as well as soaking up some of the groundwater, because the garden is on about a 25-30 degree slope, so it's fairly steep. Come on then. I've had the blockage in the vein in my leg about a month and a half, 7 weeks ago I think now. Still very swollen at times, but I'm really trying to push it now and exercise and help it to repair itself. But it can take at least 3 months, apparently up to 3 months. And then I'm still having problems with breathlessness. Well, I'm pretty good today. And then energy levels and fatigue and stiffness and tiredness, ongoing problems. There's a sweet chestnut. There's another one. That's a bigger one actually. Yeah, that is. You can see the big serrated leaves. So that must be the parent one. There's lots of The style of the leaves, but it's not overly big. Just wonder how it's found its way in here because they're not a native. Oh yeah, of course I walked right under it. So there's that one there, or whether that's a sucker, that one, from it. So there's a larger one there. Is there? I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, we found a reason, so it's certainly not very big, but it's here. What's this? It's the one here as well. Looks like it keeps throwing suckers off. Is this it? Oh, this is it. This is the parent. Found it. Yeah, this is the main one here. Just stood on its own. And then it's thrown lots of little suckers off to the side, look. It's grown. All from the nuts, probably from the nuts. So it's dominated this little area here. But how does it find its way here? Very unusual, because they're a heat-loving tree, but they will grow in cooler climates, but the nuts don't get very large. But they're beautiful in the autumn and winter. A large sweet chestnut. It's usually Spain that they grow, big enough over there to be worthwhile eating. But hopefully now, with that's one benefit of climate change, if there is any, these trees will start to produce larger nuts. It's like acorns this year have been huge. Beech mast have been really, really big. So it's certainly been a year for nuts. These two here. So we've done a good hour and 20 probably already. So I'm testing myself today because I'm putting weight back on. I lost about 12 pounds leading up to the and roundabout and after being diagnosed with having the blood clot, and then it's steadily going back on again. I've been monitoring my calories, but with all my other problems I tend to find it difficult, really difficult to lose weight. But I'm okay. I've been eating an awful lot healthier, much more fibre and much more fruit and vegetable, soups, those sort of things, to try and get my nutrients and stop my calorie demand, if you like. They've gone down into this big wetland area. So it's good to see. So Vinny's doing quite a lot, but he's a bit more adventurous now. I just don't think, with him being a working greyhound, that he's been allowed to do a great deal like this. So we've had him since February this year, and it's now the end of October. So he's had a good 6 months with us. So I think he's starting to, well, that's more than 6 months, isn't it? He's starting to really enjoy his freedom. Occasionally a little bit too much, like there with the hare and squirrel chasing, but he is starting to get much more of a taste of what he is and isn't allowed to do. But generally I let them do most things, because I know he's in woodland like this, they're not going to bring anything back. They're just going to chase a squirrel up a tree. The squirrel's going to be fine. They're going to chase a hare. It's not open ground. There's no way they're catching a hare in this sort of woodland. But this is just another little record as well of sheep house, which I've said over the years, while I live around here, I'm just going to record for posterity and have a little look at what's going on. This week I've volunteered at Wortley Hall Wall Garden. They've got a big, I think it's a 6 acre site. It's a large site anyway, it might not be quite 6, but I've volunteered, so I'm going to go up Tuesday and see if I can get some fitness back, strength, and get stretching and moving about a bit more than I've been doing. And I've just passed my first 6-month module in my first year of my environmental studies degree. It was the environmental science degree, but I've decided I liked the studies so much. It's a bit more sociology based and social sciences based, The environmental science degree was obviously heavy on science and maths. It's not my favourite area, and I decided after quite a bit of thought that it's much more important for me to understand things and enjoy what I'm studying as well. So, as much as there's graphs and there's various things, just bear with me.